Bata India surged over 5% today on the back of a possible tie-up with Adidas. Those, of course, are reports. Suyash, what's happening? Are we going to get Bata shoes with Adidas logo or Adidas shoes with Bata logo? What's going to happen here?
I mean, that seems to be the case, and investors are definitely buying into that reports because the stock on an intraday basis it rallied about 6% and it closed about 5% higher. Now the report is that Bata India and Adidas are in advanced stage of talks for a strategic tie-up for the India business. Now we also need to understand that Bata has been diversifying its portfolio over the last few quarters. Now the company primarily catered to brand conscious clientele, but over the last few quarters it has increased its stake in the premium segment also, as it was mentioned by the management in the earnings con call of June quarter, that market share in the premium segment has increased significantly. So it is good for the investors because Bata, being such a household name and has a very good brand reputation, is also diversifying into the premium segment.
Premium segment, absolutely. Bata, they're diversifying into the premium segment that so far has not been a target market for Bata. Kranthi, this augurs well for Bata as well as for perhaps Adidas, which can now look at having more customer base in India through Bata.
Shweta, you are absolutely correct. The news has been propped up today, and the exchanges have asked for a clarification from Bata management, from the company, to give a clarification on the news that it surfaced today. So we need to wait and watch what the reply that comes from Bata. But Bata has been doing pretty good in terms of the sales is concerned. If the tie-up going to finalize, it's going to add the sportswear brand where Bata is lacking, and Bata is known for more about the traditional conventional wear, whereas from Adidas tie-up, okay, it will add their premium products like the sportswear where the high margin business is concerned. But Bata has been doing, they have been increased their visibility, changed the brand model, and also increased the number of franchises in past 4-5 quarters. So it's a decent stock to be in the investors' portfolio. If the investors are having the stock in their portfolio, they can continue to hold on to the stock at this point of time.
All right, Krishna, this is, apart moving away from the story about stock, which is clearly up about 5.6%, it's a good story for a lot of consumers in India, for a lot of people who are keen on buying Adidas footwear, cannot afford it because it's way too expensive. Perhaps the price point will likely decrease now. If Bata and Adidas are to come together, they have to come up with a product that is doable for both of them, for both of their target consumers and their target market. So perhaps a lower price point, a more affordable sports shoe, is that something we're looking at?
To be really honest, the reports right now are very sketchy.
Okay.
There are exactly two sentences that it says. That says that they are exploring a partnership, a strategic partnership in India.
Okay.
And that the deal contours are in the final stages of being finalized. That's all we know. It's a strategic partnership for Adidas in India, and the deal contours in the final stages of being finalized. Now, what does it mean here in India specifically? Adidas has revenues of about 1,000 crore rupees plus. Recently it crossed 1,000 crore rupees, and then for Bata has revenues of around 950 crore rupees, again around the 1,000 crore rupee mark. And more importantly, Bata has more than 2,000 stores across the country in over 700 locations. So I really think that what I think Adidas would be looking for would be to leverage Bata's network and presence and penetration in the Indian market, and maybe even come up with that dream product that you're talking about, which brings with you all the bells and whistles of an Adidas shoe, but comes at that Bata price point. Bear in mind, Bata price point is not the typical $999 or $499. Bata's Hush Puppies, for example, cost quite a bit.
Absolutely.
So if Bata's Hush Puppies can come, 5,000 rupee shoes in a Bata showroom, I'm sure you can buy a Bata-Adidas for 5,000 rupees. Even at the price level, it's very digestible to get a Adidas. What I would be curious to know, where these people are going to come together on, or Adidas is going to use Bata's showrooms across the country, or is Bata going to premiumize itself by getting an Adidas branded shoe in its portfolio? All of these are possibilities.
Possibilities.
Mouth-watering possibilities.
Realm of speculation at this point in time, because the
Absolutely.
news that we have is very sketchy. Very preliminary sort of information that is coming out. There's not been any confirmation or denial. In fact, exchanges have, in fact, markets regulator has written to, Bata to ask for a clarification, because the stock is up about 5.6% on the back of that news. So, of course, we'll bring more details